What's up, gamers? Hey, once again, thanks again for tuning in to the Gamer Rebirth DL channel. So a lot of movement going on in the Vita scene, hiccups, new applications, great new things coming out, HENkaku Enso around the corner. Guys, also thank you so much for being patient. I've been working on some other projects, but I'll be trying to get some videos out this weekend. Today, we're going to launch any PSP game through the live area with a bubble. Now this is only for PlayStation Vita on 3.60. So what do we need? We will need a PSP game, demo or mini. We will also need a PSP game in ISO or CSO format. We will need a PlayStation Vita on 3.60 with HENkaku installed, QCMA, Notepad++, and the regular Notepad. We're going to need the AdrBubbleBooter plugin. As for the installation, we're going to transfer the PSP ISO game to the PlayStation Vita and rename it. We're going to transfer the BUBBLEBOOTer plugin to the PlayStation Vita. We're going to edit TIE or the config text, create a game ID text, and reload config text through our settings. So wait for the additional tips and example. The links, as always, will be in the description. Remember to check my Twitter, guys. Enjoy, gamers. So we move on to the PlayStation Vita. So as you can see, I already have Vita shell installed. I'll go ahead and leave the link as well. So we're going to connect the PlayStation Vita via USB, and to launch it, press select. As you can see, my PC is connected to my PlayStation Vita via USB thanks to Vita shell and the flow. So we're going to go to PSP EMU. We're going to transfer that ISO. So we go to the ISO folder. As you can see, I have two ISOs in there. I'm going to go to my ISO folder and transfer this game, which is the Need for Speed.CSO. As you can see, PSP EMU ISO. So there we have it. Now we're going to go ahead and rename it. I don't know, it worked for me. At first I had it in all caps, but I'm just going to rename it with lowercase. I know I have the metal slug. I mean, you can do it as well like that. If you just want to do it all in lowercase, it's fine. So this is Need for Speed Most Wanted. It's a cool game also. I don't know if it makes a difference on renaming it like this, but it worked for me. So just in case, just do it. You can see I tried to rename also the CSO. So there we have it. Just capitalize it, it's fine. Just remember to have a working ISO game as well, or CSO. So we're going to go to the RAR file. You can get this in the description. I'll go ahead and leave the source link as well. So we're going to open it, and then we're just going to copy the AdrBubbleBooter into the root of the PlayStation Vita. So in UXO, and just drop it in there. You can see I already have it in there, so I don't really need to drop it again. I'm just showing you that the files are the same ones. So we don't need that anymore. That's the only folder we need. So once we have that, we're going to move on to our TIE folder. So you get the TIE folder once you install AdrBubbleLMAN. Pretty much, probably all of you already have it. And then we go into the config text. So if you open it with Notepad, it doesn't really work. So open it with Notepad++. So we right click, edit with Notepad++. Now we get this information. I'll go ahead and leave my config text file example, so you can go ahead and mimic somewhat what I have in here. So just remember, really important to put your information after the hashtag or #main special title ID for SCE shell URL TIE HENkaku.SUPRX. So as you can see, I have my AdrBubbleLMAN game. So just keep it between the NPX10015 and the TIE HENkaku SUPRX. So you can see I have AdrBubbleLMAN in there. So now here underneath Adrenaline, we're going to add the game ID that you're going to use so that it can execute the PSP game in our ISO folder. So as you can see, I'm going to use need 00203. That's my game ID. You can see I have it cloned. I'll go ahead and show how to clone at the end of the video with the simple app on 3.60. So now with the non-start that will not show the Adrenaline logo, but I really like the Adrenaline logo, so I'm gonna copy the one on the bottom and paste it. So AdrBubbleBooter, SupRx, and then I have Adrenaline SupRx. So that's all we need to do in here. So we go to File, Save. So once again, guys, just remember between the URL HENkaku SupRx. So input your data in there. Again, I cannot stress it. And between the NPXS10015. Just input your Adrenaline information and then your games that you're going to use to launch your PSP games. So now we're going to go to the AdrBubbleBooter. Then we're going to go to Bubble Database. As you can see, I have a text file. So I'm just going to double check the game ID. And I'm going to use Notepad, or you can use Notepad++. But in this case, I'm just going to use Notepad. And I'm going to File, Save As. And then I'm going to save it as the game ID, which is need 00203. Okay, and then we're going to add .text and save. Okay, so now once we already have it saved, I'm just going to check the path from one that I already have created. So we're going to put MSO or 0, the two little dots, slash ISO slash, and then the name of the game. It's really important to put it the same as you renamed it so that it can execute it. If you change or if you add like a space to it, it won't launch. So I'm just going to go ahead and right click, you do rename, and then just copy all that. Control C or right click, copy. I'm gonna go back to my text file, and then I'm just going to go ahead and paste. So it's really important you have exactly how it is. Okay, so now that we have that path ready, we're just going to go ahead and save. Remember MSO / ISO / needs for speed, exactly how we renamed it, no spaces or anything at the end. Okay, so basically we're pretty much done with setting the path and the ISOs. So we just need to copy our game ID text inside the Bubble database. Now we move on to the PlayStation Vita. We're going to go ahead and test it. But before we test it, we're going to reload the config text. Okay, so now we can go to settings with our lovely new settings created by the flow. And we're going to HENkaku settings. And then we scroll down and we reload HEN config text. There we have it. So now let's double check the game. It's a doodle pool. Hopefully it works, guys. You can see the Adrenaline logo comes up. Oh, what's going on? Just kidding, guys, it does work. So I sped up the video so you guys can see the game, it's working. Remember, we launched Doodle Pool, but look at that, need for speed, guys. Automatic launch from the live area, which is pretty cool. Pimping out your Vita. Let's try other games. Oh, as you can see, black screen. And it's because we didn't add the logo for Adrenaline, so you will have a black screen for like 5 seconds. And then this is a PlayStation 1 game. You probably guys already saw it on one of my previous videos, but can see that it works. Now go ahead and create a video how to put the PlayStation 1 games as well. It's the same process basically, just changing the path. Now here's another PSP game, Metal Slug, pretty cool. Another of my clones. I'm gonna launch the game. You can see black screen because it doesn't have the AdrBubbleBooter logo, but we have Street Fighter Alpha 3. Pretty cool, guys. I'll go ahead and also do a video later on how to change the icons on the clone games or your games that you're using. Alright guys, as promised, now if you don't have a PSP game, then you can clone it on 3.60. It's a simple process. We will need Vita Homebrew Browser. That's where we're going to go and get the application. So we go to Utilities and we scroll down until we find Psp Bubble Installer. So we go ahead and select it and then we're going to download it. As you can see, I already have it installed. So I click open and it tells me to close Vita Homebrew Browser, and then it gave me an error. So just close all of them and then just launch it from the live area. So it will be the best thing if you already have it in there. So then it's gonna tell you to press X to install Psp Bubble, for USB to install AdrBubbleBooter or Arc, and now it will reboot your Vita. You can see our friend Silica and Pina, Mr. Gas, Major Tom. I missed another name, but it's okay. You can see it's installing the clone Bubble. Now this only works when you're on HENkaku, so you will need to reinstall HENkaku, and we can use that Bubble. So we launch Vita Shell. So we go to Thai, config.txt, and then you can see I already have that information in there, so I'm going to copy those three and then I'm going to paste that information below the my AdrBubbleBooter game. Okay, so I'm just gonna add another line just to add in a space so I don't get confused, and then I'm going to put the game ID for the clone game. In this case I had already checked, so the game ID, I'm just going to go ahead and input it in here. Remember, all capitalized. Okay, cool, so we're done renaming that game. Shouldn't take that long. So now that's all we need to do here in the config.txt and the Thai folder. You can see my other games that I used to launch my or execute that ISO. So now we're going to go to the AdrBubbleBooter folder and the Bubble database. I tried to copy one of those text files, but it gave me an error, so it doesn't allow us to copy just yet, but we can go ahead and rename one of them just to show you in this example. So I'm going to go ahead and rename. So if you have other text files and just want to put them in there, like just put 1, 2, 3 or 4, and then you can rename them, that would be pretty cool. You can do everything through the PlayStation Vita. You can see I put the game ID as the title and then the path. I'm just gonna use the Street Fighter one that I had already had before. So I'm gonna launch settings and reload the config.txt. So once we've done that, we're going to go ahead and test the game. And this is the game that we launched or we created through the Psp Bubble installer. Let's go ahead and try the game, see if it works. You can see it launches the AdrBubbleBooter logo and it executes the game. Pretty cool. So this is awesome, guys. Hope you guys liked it. Remember to comment if it worked. If you guys need help, I'll try to get to you. Subscribe. As always, Gamer Rebirth out.